Okay. All right. So, welcome back, guys. Good morning. We're gonna start up in just about a minute. You can see here we're about 9:30. 1 minute away. We have some key levels here to watch, namely the previous daily high level right now that we have now traded through and are currently retesting. Right. So at the open, we'll see we have our pre-market levels high and low here. We'll see if we get any kind of sweep or run. If we get a big reversal from this level, we want to see previous daily high here traded back below here with a change of character, right? And if we do, then we can look for potentially a move back into discount levels here. And our discount levels are going to be all the way down here. This level here was previously swept yesterday, right? And then that's what spurred this big move to the upside. Okay. Good morning, Kyle. How are you doing? And then, so I'm going to be expecting this area here to be protected and if we continue higher. Okay, so there's the open. There's our run above New York high levels. And let's see if we get either reversal or continue from this. We have an imbalance right here. We have liquidity here. We've got this order block. So if we do get a continuation above previous daily high, we're going to get a closure above previous daily high. Right now it's this level right here though, right? So the first thing that we're going to watch for is this 15-minute candle closure either above or below our New York high, and then we can look for the next candle to confirm the direction. Looks like a sweep manipulation so far. We had a really nice move down yesterday after sweeping out this liquidity here. Traded back into this order block and consolidation over here, and then that's what led to this move right now, trading above this high here. So 10 o'clock we've got Jolt's job openings and some kind of PMI news, I think. So 10 o'clock might give us also something in terms of volatility. And so far not too crazy, right? Still kind of holding around and above this level here. Almost got to this low here. Let's see what we did here on the oh, we got a little low divergence here and a push higher with a change of character, and there's another push higher. There we go. All right, so now the reason why we're waiting for the 15-minute confirmation now is we want to make sure that this isn't a manipulation, right? If we just jump in going off of the break on the 1 minute, right? We can get faked out on this if this becomes a sweep, right? Because the next candle could be like a big bearish candle. Good morning, Eve Football. How you guys doing out in YouTube land? Everything looked good on YouTube on screen, right? Hopefully, if you guys notice anything, tell me. All right, now if we do get a confirmation like we did here, right, then we're going to see price eventually confirm that closure with the next candle should be a closure above, right? So this technically right here was a confirmation here, but this is not the open, right? So if we were to trade this, like we can go back and look at this example here, 8:30. Okay, 8:30 we had a confirmation after price had broken through this, right? And then price gives us a retracement. When we give it the retracement, we look for price to give us a sweep of a level, right? So this would be our range, and we wouldn't have got it. So no setup there, but I guess if you count this, because this is a divergence here, it potentially could be construed as a setup here, but again, not the open, right? So we want to wait till the open, and then we want to see if the open produces something similar to this with a deeper retracement, hopefully. Okay, or if it's going to be a reversal, then we would see this trade through and give us a change of character. All right, so while we wait for that to close, let's just take a quick look at yesterday's setup here. Our setup actually did end up playing out. That long we took yesterday actually did end up playing out. The sweep that we took it off of was just a little early though. So if we go back to where we took the long, I think we took the long somewhere around here. I believe around this level, 896, right? I think around here on this sweep, right? So what we did was we took the long after sweeping out this level into this imbalance, and then we took it here, right? And then it came back on us, but you can see here it swept the level that we swept back into this order block and into this range. So our range was correct, actually. We had this range as the range we were looking for the setup. It's just that we took this here in the premium, right? So all we had to do was wait for it to come back into the discount here, into this order block. And that's what we were missing, because this happened right at 10:30, right when we got off the stream. This happened right here at 10:30, and then we saw price tap into this order block, sweep out this internal level, and then close above the internal sweep, right? So the entry here would have been perfect with our stop underneath the order block, right, and the psych level. So looking at about a 40-point stop, and then looking for our 1-to-1, you can see that we would have gotten that pretty easily, right? 55 points. And at that point there, sweeping out previous day's highs right here, this level was previous day high. It was, or let's see, yeah, over here, right? This level was right around previous day's highs, or thereabouts. Okay, so after that, let's go back to the 15. I'll show you how this sequentially works out for a short setup after that as well. So look, we have price hits our TP, right? We get to the point of interest. We get a closure above. So we want to see, is this going to continue or is it going to sweep, right? If it's going to sweep, it's not going to give us a closure above on the next candle, which as you can see, it doesn't, right? It gives us a massive closure back below. So close above, close back below. That's going to be a bearish bias, right? With the 15-minute candle confirmation. This candle right here, starting at 11, go back down to the 1 minute, start to look for our setup after 11. What we're looking for is on the 1 minute, we get the change of character, which we do. We get the break of structure, well, we get the retracement after the change of character, not the break of structure, which is this high to this low, right? And this happens right at 11. So 11, now we're waiting for the retracement back into the range for the short. So what we're looking for is the premium internal sweep. How you doing, Zane? Good to see you. All right, so this right here is our internal high. Okay, and we sweep that into this imbalance right here. So tap into the imbalance, sweep the internal high. This candle closure right here is a confirmation for an entry, but you know me, I don't like to take it on the bullish candle, right? I need to see a bearish candle confirmation. It's almost just like seeing the 15-minute on the 1 minute, right? We want a bearish candle confirmation on the 1 minute to confirm the direction. We get that right there. We enter, put our stop above the imbalance above the psych level, that 20 level, and that's about a 30-point stop. And then we get a nice healthy move down. 1R, 2R, right? And then if we go all the way down to potentially where we stopped here, this came all the way down to like a 9R. Right off of that setup. And we came down and took out these lows here. This would have been the TP target if we were aiming for a long-term target. So what was that? That was 250-ish, 240-ish, 8 to 1. Beautiful trade. Hey Anna, good morning. And this again happens after 11, right? Or right at 11 basically. So we want to see if we get similar conditions to that today here. Off of this level, right? And we're just about to confirm bullishness for this 15-minute candle closure above this level. I still like this to be a deeper retracement. Unfortunately, we didn't get that to tag this level, which was the previous daily high. So and you can see that we have this nice little swing low right here, just sitting right above it, right? So we could see price come back to here, retrace into this order block here, and this imbalance, sweeping this low. So this will be an area for me to watch today, particularly because we also have the divergence here. But I would like to see this level come back and retest that, sweep this, tag the order block, and then see price go up from there. And if we don't, and we see price go through, this will be an area for like a zone flip coming back to mitigate, and then the move down if that happens. Right, and also don't forget the 10 o'clock news today, right? So we'll see what the JOLTS does in the PMI.
Hey, good morning, Jeff.
Hey, James.
Hey, why is the 15 minutes showing bearish on the indicator?
Because this is the current candle, right? So the previous candle, it says the reason right here, right? The reason is the close below the 50% of the mid. So what that means is that this candle right here was inside, right? So there's an inside candle. So we didn't take out the high, we didn't take out the low, but if we take the 50% of the candle range, right? I think it's right on the cusp, but yeah, we closed just underneath that 50% level. So this next candle would have been a bearish bias, but it's still painting, right? Right now it's going to be closing. There we go. Now it's bullish. Obviously, big bullish candle there. But it's taking it from the previous candle's closure. And you might have these set to the default. I changed this to daily 4 hour and 15 minute, right? So if you haven't changed yours, yours might still say weekly, daily, and 4 hour here.
No, it's changed.
Okay. And it should say bullish now though, right?
Yeah, it's got a bullish.
Okay. Okay, so 15-minute candle closure well above our pre-market high level, right? So, and also above previous daily highs and continuing to push higher. We might get ourselves a imbalance to form here. So the next candle closure, if we close above New York high, which is, seems likely right now, but 15 minutes is a very long time, right? And we also have news, right? So ideally, if this is going to continue higher, what we want to see is we're going to see this candle close, right, as a smallish candle. I don't want to see like a big candle really right now because I want to see the 10 o'clock giving the expansion, but I want to see this create an imbalance here, right? So it can come back a little bit, I guess, but I don't really want to see a big candle closure here between 9:45 and 10 o'clock. I want to see a small candle here form this imbalance, and then what I want to see is for price to trade in. So the news will come and trade into this imbalance, right? Maybe tag the order block, or maybe we'll create another internal range inside here, something like this, right? And then we'll sweep it at 10 o'clock, and then we'll get this move back to the upside, and then we'll get the buy to go long off of that move, right? Trading inside this imbalance. So that's ideally what I want to see if we're bullish. If we're bearish, then the imbalance is going to get inverted, right? We'll see an inversion of the imbalance. We'll see a change of character here, and then we'll see our range form, right? Our internal high. Then we'll get our sweep, and then we'll get our short from that sweep. Okay, so two scenarios we'll see if we'll get at 10 o'clock once the news hits. From a 4 hour perspective, yesterday, what we can see is price respected the OB down here. And we got that reaction. The reaction confirms once we get clear of the down close candles. Technically, this one right here confirmed it, right? But we got through the whole structure, even up here. You can see now we're above. Obviously, the candle still has to close. But now we can assume this structure will hold price higher, even if we come down into this level here, right? Like so. So let's see if we get some new all-time highs today. So it's good if the candle stays relatively small like this. And obviously, I mean, it's common sense, right? If you think about it, I don't want the candle to expand really big right now, because coming back into this imbalance is gonna, it's gonna be a bigger retracement, right? And that's potentially going to be a reversal if that happens, if it's a huge retracement back, because we're at all-time highs, right? So I'm going to be expecting pullbacks at key levels and things like that. So this pullback here that's happening right now, or that potentially will happen right now, if the distance that we have to cover is much smaller or shorter, it makes much more sense for the expansion. But if we already expanded and then we came back, right? If we went really big and then we went really big back, right, into this imbalance, sure, we retrace back into an imbalance, but this movement already shows me like reversal kind of behavior, right, which I don't want if we're going to continue higher. So I want this to stay relatively small here, so that when we retrace back into this imbalance, it doesn't have to go a lot of distance, right? It's just a short retracement. So on the higher time frame, it's going to look like a smaller kind of wick, right? So like if I draw it out, this candle, right, being super small or being short, it's like a small accumulation, right? And then the retracement is the wick into this imbalance, right? And then we get the confirmation. Once it closes above the open, or once it gets over this line here, this becomes the body of the candle, and then we get this retracement at the top wick, right? That's a candlestick, right? So this portion right here, I want this to be very small. I don't want this to be a huge retracement, right? I just want it to retrace back, hit some liquidity, and then give me a big expansion to the upwards side, like just like this, basically, just like this candle. Right? So here's the same idea. Big expansion up, or big full body candle upwards, right? But the retracement here is tiny, right? So this small candle here, and then the imbalance, we just tap into the imbalance, and then we get this expansion upward. Same idea. So this is going to be my higher time frame point of interest. This is step 1 on the checklist, right? Step 1 is find a higher time frame point of interest that price is likely going to react. And then step 2 is going to be a liquidity sweep, right, into that point of interest. So hopefully we form some kind of structure that gives us that sweep into the level, but it'll likely be on the 1 minute, because we have some structure here on the 1 minute that we can sweep. So either this swing or this swing. We've got a divergence here right now, which is interesting. Okay, and then if we do get that sweep, then the third step is going to be that displacement higher, and the fourth step would be the change of character or the inversion. Fifth step, if we get the divergence, which is optional, but if we get a similar divergence like we did down here, then we have all systems go for a trade, right? If you guys don't know what the steps are for the checklist, or if you need the checklist, obviously there's a link in the description. You can download it, okay? Make sure you do download it so you can follow along with us when we do finally get our setup, right? Then you can see exactly what the steps are to confirm a really high probability setup, right? If you get all 5 steps of that checklist, you're going to have a very strong confirmation, right? An A+ setup. You could do with 4 steps, that's like an A grade. If you have all 5, it'll be an A+, and then those are the criteria you can use for determining your setups, right? Added in with our 15-minute filter makes it really powerful. So in about 5 minutes, we're going to get a candle closure. I like that we're staying relatively smallish, and I want to see this imbalance stay open. So then at 10 o'clock, we get the news, right? We see a retracement down. Hopefully we get some manipulation down into this imbalance, and then we get the move away from there. Hey, Chuck. Yes, we are waiting for the news candle, obviously, 10 o'clock. We'll see what happens with that. And then we'll see if we get our conditions, because we're likely going to get the closure above the level, right? So we have one 15-minute candle closure above with a bullish CRT. This candle, if it closes like this, bearish beneath the high, then obviously this is going to flip to bearish, right? But let's see if we get a closure above it at the last minute. As long as we close above the high here and it stays relatively like a doji candle, that's fine too. But like I said, I don't want this to be, you know, a big move down or a big move up. I just want it to stay kind of relatively small bodied like that. If it flips bullish and closes above, that's even better. And then we want to see price come back and retouch that imbalance to move higher. Three minutes to go. All right, looking good. See, if it closes like that, that's even better. So now we have a close above the high. This will stay bullish, right? We'll have a small candle. We'll have the imbalance, and then we'll look for price to retrace back inside the range. So on the 1 minute, it'll look like we have our range already. It'll be this high to this low, like so. Okay, and then we'll look for price to come back into the imbalance, right, and sweep out an internal structural low. So this would be the likely candidate that we want to see come back into here, right, and sweep that. We do have a bullish divergence here, so but let's see what the news does. 2 minutes to go. All right, and now coming up on the last minute, candle looks pretty good. Don't really want it to do much more of outside of that. Okay, and this looks like a nice consolidation, so we want to see price come down, sweep out some internal lows into a discount here, and then come back up. Let's see if the news will give us that. And let's just see if this candle stays above that previous candle high. So we're looking at 28.080, 83. Staying above that 80 level. 20 seconds to go. I think we're going to be right there on the line. Okay, it doesn't look like we're gonna get the close above. Maybe last second. No. Okay. So close. All right, here comes the news. Let's see what we do. All right, so the imbalance stays intact, right? It's very good. I want to see price sweep into this imbalance here. In the 1 minute here, we've got this level, this level, right, into this, I guess the New York high here. We've got the order block here, right, where we swept below. There's an order block here, I guess. Okay, this is my discount POI right here. All right, I got a psych level around 2820 and then 28K even. So either of those levels producing some kind of reaction or bounce should be good. So I do want to see a sweep of this level here at least, right? That's the 50% discount. Any of these up here are still too high, so we made that mistake yesterday. So we'll wait and see if we get a deeper retracement. Right, still consolidating a bit, looks like. Okay, so not much movement on the news. A little bit tame, I would say. We did get a divergence here on this little internal sweep. Didn't quite reach into the discount yet, so we're still going to hold off and see if we get that confirmation. Want to see a deeper retracement from this range that we're forming here. We did tap into the imbalance though, so this low did tap into the imbalance, as you can see. Okay, so if we miss it off of that, then, you know, so be it. But that low right there is the start of the imbalance. You can see we have a divergence into that imbalance, and then we have a closure above. So by all respects, this is a confirmation there. You would put your stop. It would have to be underneath. Yeah, see, this one would still want to see it sweep the New York low. I would say, you know, at least underneath here. So it's actually a really big stop. So we're gonna wait and see if we get a bigger retracement. If 1015 closes as an inside candle, right, then we have to wait for price to break out or come back in. Four-hour is bullish CRT because obviously we closed massive bullish candle closure. Okay, so but even if we do expect price to continue higher, right, we want to see if we get that EQ test, right, which we don't have. And what that is we take the range of the candle, high, low, like this, right, and we want to see price come back into the 50% of that retracement. Where is it? It's right here. This is the... Okay, so we want to see it come back to this level here, right? For a retest, this is right at the 28K level. It's also where this order block and this change of character live, around this level. It's the high right here. Right, so ideally, if we want to see price go higher first, we always want to see price go lower and then go higher, right? Take liquidity, trade back into a discount, into a POI, and then go higher. So those are 4-hour signatures we want to watch, but right now on the 15-minute, okay, we have the same idea, right? So we've just traded outside of a key level here. We have a consolidation, right, that we want price to come back and retest this order block, right? And the 50% of this candle is right here, right? And we didn't reach it with this one here, so I want to see the next move come back into that candle if we can. Right, but the high is this high right here. Oh, we've got a divergence. If price closes above the M15 previous bearish doji, so up here, would the stop go below? Yeah, well, it would go under. It depends on what we form, right? So right now you can see that we did actually go underneath already with this. So technically stop would need to be here, depending on where the entry is, of course, right? But let's say we get a retracement, you know, in this region here, stop would likely go under here, and the 1 minute would probably reflect that. So there would be like this, probably this psych level here. Yes, sir. All right, this is good. We are consolidating, right? We're not pushing higher immediately. So I want to see this, right? We want to see consolidation. We want to see price come down and sweep out a level just like we saw yesterday, right? So we just, you know, had to be a little bit more patient yesterday with that setup, and we would have gotten a nice 40, 50 points out of it. Let's see what this looks like over here. So you can see, yeah, it was very, very wicky, very consolidating, very choppy, right? Not very much to write home about, really. But yeah, over here, same thing. We're seeing the consolidation. Like, we don't want to be too impatient, right? We want to see the consolidation form. This still really doesn't look like it's broken out either way. We want to see price come down and sweep liquidity inside the range. This looks like a nice low. Any one of these also. Obviously, we want it to be in the discount, right? So in the discount, we have this one here. We have the order block, which starts with this wick, right? This is the move down that then trades through and goes up. So this is where a lot of the volume here is where it occurred, right? Before this big massive push to the upside. So we want to see price come back to retest this area, and there's a low, right? Internal liquidity level that sits just above it, which is exactly what we want. So ideally now, for price to go higher, we want to see price come down, sweep out this internal level, right? This level's right is 28,020, but there's also the big figure level, right? 28K. We might sit just around that level, between 20 and 28K. There's that order block. There's a very tiny imbalance right here. There's this order block that sits right there, right? And so we want to see that reaction. Now the reaction is going to be valid. How do I know that that reaction is going to be valid? Well, price is going to come up and close back above this swing. And once that happens, let's say it happens right at the low, right? This would be the closest you can get it, and then you can put your stop underneath. I mean, just underneath the order block, and the psych level would be fine, I think. So we could look at around 40 to 50 point stop, and then just look for a nice move up for a 1-to-1 here, and then 2R would be next psych level 120 or 150 up here, right? Those would be levels that we can look for targets if we want to go for more than a 1-to-1. So this is nice here. Nice little retracement happening. Looks good. Okay, so did get the divergence, did get the move lower, closing underneath 28,100. But I want to see this continue, obviously. Oh, there we go. Okay, that might have been something. All right, let's see how this closes. Again, we traded underneath this 15-minute level here into this imbalance. Okay, reaching into it. There's the closure. Let's see if we get to our level here. This is 50 level, right? Okay, coming down. Let's see if we can clear this out. 32, 20, right? So we want to see if we can get to the 20 level. Or around the 20 level, but sweep this. All right, there's the 15-minute close. Okay, it is a bearish candle, right? Closing into the imbalance here. We do have 15-minute divergence. Okay, we're at all-time highs. Okay, remember. So, like I said, any retracement probably will be, you know, a big retracement, and people are going to be speculating it to be the reversal, right? But we're still bullish, so we still want to look for price to be bullish and look for reasons to buy. Oh, we did. I think we hit our level. Okay, so we have tap into. Didn't quite get to the 20 though. Okay, now let's see if we get a closure above on this next candle here. Or do we get price to go through? Now if we get this tap, right, and a closure above, and we also get closure back above the wick, the 15-minute wick of this candle here, then that might be our setup. So let's see. This doesn't look like it's going to close bullish, but 30 seconds to go. Could be wrong. 30 seconds. Price can do a lot. In 10 seconds. Okay, kind of a doji candle, not really that strong. Oh, spoke too soon. All right, so that's good. We got divergence. All right, we're going to take this entry here. I'm going to take this long. I'm going to put my stop underneath the order block, okay, like we said. So right around a 60-point stop, okay, we're going to try to run out this high for a 1-to-1. Okay, we're just following our checklist rules there, all right? Price came back into the discount, right? We swept out an internal level. We got divergence, okay? And we got the closure above the sweep level. And now we're going to get a closure above the wick level. So let's see how this goes. It's looking pretty good. Once we get above, all right, so let's get some reference points here. We have an inversion here, a bearish inversion that we need to invert. So close above. And once we close above that 80 level, I'm going to put my stop underneath here. 25 points. There we go. Okay, target is going to be just underneath the psych level. We're going to take out these highs up here. So what is that, 115? Oh, big move down. Oh, I saved. Still in. Not yet. My stop is at 30. So this might tag me out if this is going to keep going. See if this is a big manipulation or not. Oh boy. 2-tick turnaround. Came down to 33, so we're at 30 points. Let's see what happens. Next scan will probably stop me out if it keeps going. Otherwise, this will turn around. The reaction held, right? That's what this is. But if this now turns around here and we get back above again, I'll be pretty confident that we're not going to come back down. So we'll see what happens with this. We're right at entry. So hopefully this holds. Yeah. For sure. All right, it's reduced stop, so even if I do get stopped out, there's still another opportunity to take another entry if it presents itself, right? But we'll have to wait for another sweep and another structure shift. But that's okay. That's a good close. Just keep it going from here. The stop is where I want it to be at the moment. We've got divergence, we got that sweep, and I don't really want it to go any lower than this from that reaction. So if it does stop me out, and like I said, we trade back down like to this order block or back to the high, then so be it. We'll take another setup if it does occur. right here. Okay, we're still above entry now, which is good. Come back up. All right, now if we close above this high, I'm going to move my stop to break even. And if we come back on that, then we get out, you know, at least we protect ourselves there. Because I don't, like I said, I want this to just go, right? I don't need it to go. I don't need it to mess around anymore. So good, two good closes. What I want to see now is that I don't want to see this hold, right? So we got to close above the bearish candle. We got to close above this high, hopefully. Right, and once we do that, stop goes to break even, and then we let it ride. Here's that wick level, right? And see the sensitivity around that wick level. We got to close back above it. We did that the first time here pretty strong. And let's see if we can do it again. That divergence, though, I don't like that divergence. Yep, there we go. We closed just underneath it. Yesterday I didn't let the trade play out, so you know that might have been a win if I let it play out. This is looking better now. Looks okay right now, but we're not in the clear yet, right? Just got to get above here. This is looking like a very good candle though, but I want to see it because there's still 20 seconds left. And a candle like this could look like this in 10 seconds if it wants to. Okay, looking good, looking good. Keep climbing. Keep climbing. Get above. There we go. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so trades at break even right now. Whatever happens, we're good. Either we take the break even or we take profit. Okay, we hit the 100 level here. We're at 50 points. I mean, if you guys want to take profit right now, I wouldn't blame you. Right, but my target is 115, right? Break even or bust. Okay, and I want to see price create this next imbalance that's going to form right here. And honestly, this could go higher. So if you want to, you know, see if it goes higher. But let's see, 115. Yeah, then we're going to get that closure and the imbalance. Perfect. Fantastic. All right, now we could get price to retrace back into this imbalance, right? Same idea, right? Smallish candle closes back inside, hits the imbalance, right? This is going to be the order block right now to hold. So we don't want to see it come back through the imbalance, obviously, but if we do and get stopped out at break even, so be it, right? But everything points to this now screaming higher, especially this nice sweep right here, and especially there we go, boom, take profit hit. All right, fantastic. If you guys want to keep holding, that's up to you, but I am out of the trade with 60 points. Lovely, lovely trade. All right, and you know, couldn't ask for a better setup there. Everything played out picture perfect, right? Step by step, you can see how everything played out. We came back exactly to the level we wanted. Every candle closed where we wanted to see it close. This almost stopped us out. I almost got stopped out here, right? But seeing the reaction here, it should have continued, right? And that's why we continue to manage the trade. So here it goes. Let's see how it ends up. You know, at the end here. Let's see if we get to, you know, some, because right now we're at all-time highs. We have nothing to the left to reference. This is going to be the highest it's ever, you know, been at this point, right? And see how it rides. If you wanted to trail, right, and manage it as a trail, I'd be trailing every single candle at this point, right? So when this candle closes, now my stop would be up here, right? So I'm locking in 30 points. Next candle closure in 20 seconds here, I'll be locking in 50 points, right? And so on and so forth. Yeah, I'm glad you guys got in as well, right? For those of you that did. And, you know, we'll see how this goes and see if it becomes a monster. Now, I don't want you guys to get disappointed if this becomes like a 200-point trade. Profit is profit, right? Our setup played out. We got our results, okay? But, you know, we're at all-time highs and we're bullish, right? Everyone's speculating this to be short right now, so we want to still continue to look for longs, especially when we get these kinds of retracements and these setups, right? And so, again, following exactly to the T steps of the checklist, right? Looking for the confirmations after the 15-minute confirmations, right? We had a 15-minute close and then a 15-minute confirmation, right? Above the level. And then we see price retrace. So then we start following the steps of the checklist. Step 1, higher time frame point of interest, right? What was that? It was the 15-minute imbalance. Okay. Then we look for a sweep, right? Our sweep was, we want to see a sweep inside of our discount, right? Which is right here. We got the sweep. Then we want to see displacement, which we already had, right? Which we had from before. And then the closure above with the bullish candle right here, right? That was the entry. And actually, it was somewhere around here because we had the retracement on the candle, right? So smallish stop, I guess if you count the original stop, it was about 60 points for 1R. But if we count the reduced stop, it was more like a 2R. Yep, be happy with enough, right? 2 points turning back around and then coming back is brutal. And this almost happened here as well. Let's see, like the initial spike gave us 30 points, right? And it came back, almost took us out. Got divergence. So it actually did take out ES and YM. You can see here the divergence on ES and YM actually did go below this. So if we were trading ES or YM, you know, maybe we would have got stopped out there, depending on where you put your stop. So here, I actually probably should have put it underneath the cycle level here at 35 versus underneath this low. Because if there's a cycle level near a swing, I would much rather put it underneath the cycle level. If it's only a 5-point difference, I'm definitely, you know, more inclined to put it underneath the cycle level. I think because of how fast it was moving and because of everything that was going on, I think I just missed seeing that there. So I put it under this instead. But normally you would want to put it underneath the cycle level, right? That gives you a reduced stop and then it lets it go. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much a good result. I think we can call it here. This is going to probably keep going, like I said, and then now we have a new level, right? So new level. Let's clear up all of this off the chart here so you can see. Right, new level is here. Okay, the level we worked off of last level was here, right? New York high. So 15-minute confirmation, 15-minute confirmation, right? This next level here, if we get a closure above, same thing. 15-minute close in 30 seconds, right? It's going to close above. Next candle confirmation, we want to see it stay closed above and potentially create another imbalance, right? And the next candle, if it closes small, like I was saying up here, closing small, then we want to see price reach in to the imbalance here, maybe retest the top, right? Retest this order block and then continue, right? And then look for the setup and the continuation, right? I'm done for today. Obviously, my one trade a day quota met, right? Come back tomorrow, we'll do the same thing. Tomorrow we have no red news until, I think Friday, was it? Yeah, Friday, which is NFP. So that will be interesting. All right. Yeah, you're welcome, guys. All right, so come back, do it tomorrow. Any questions before we call it? Tummy's still holding. All right, Tummy. Make sure you're trailing your stop, okay? Don't give it back. Okay, fantastic. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for today. We'll come back tomorrow, same time, same place, right? Those of you out in YouTube land, if you have any questions, you can post them in the chat in the comments below, and I will respond to those when I can. All right, guys, awesome. Take care. We'll see you on the next one. Good luck with your trades today.